The super dope. Le dîner et la chute de l'époux et l'épouse. Ils ont fermé les yeux sur la réalité et ont continué à les penser. Et les étions infidèles et ont refusé de se copier. Leur monde s'est écroulé. Leur vie vide. Numéro 11. Turned up. When the world shines on you, perfection seems to be the norm. When darkness falls, you become a woman scorned. The bigger you build a house of cards, the wider that deck falls. Everything built on fake falls harder because you were on the tape. Take that man's money. Take advantage of people's time. Show off material things that you bought with someone else's dimes. The harder you shove people down, the higher they will rise above you. Karma was always there, waiting in the wings to strike as despair. Your husband's cheating is no longer a secret. Those blogs, they love writing about you. How could they after you paid them all that loot? The tables are turning and this was not in the game plan. Why is it she can't comprehend the mess she's placed herself in? Ho was never converted into a housewife, only placed in a house as a wife. And when the husband was away, oh, that hoe began to play. But he's not a saint himself. He wanted the image of a wife, a brand-building move to pad his wealth. He knew married and stable men are offered more endorsement deals. He had to create the illusion that he had found happiness, that it was real. So he played her, told her the things she wanted to hear. He set her up financially, eliminated her fears. He never dropped his city checks, the ones he saw on the road, the ones who waited, never complained, showed up at the hotel after every game. All they needed was for him to drop a little cash. The mouth stayed shut. The player continued to smash. But those blogs are a jealous god. Stop paying them and they'll raise their rod. It started out as a blind item with hints of who it was. Then both the baller and his wife got sloppy, careless, stopped hiding. Pictures were published. Friends started confessing. Turns out many people wanted their 15 minutes in the ring. Those two were enraged at the news, but they couldn't face each other at home. Face the facts that they were each sneaky. Face the facts that they were doing wrong. Perhaps if they just don't respond, it will disappear, melt into thin air, and the deception will be clear. But those pesky rumors never got boring. They were selling magazines and ads. Those comments kept growing. Admissions of sightings from the average person fueled the reality at what each of them had done. Rich people play by different rules. The rules of engagement when you've been caught are clear. Be arrogant, deny everything, and continue about your day. Never let them see you sweat. Watch your back, but continue the party. Le moment de vérité est arrivé. Ils ont tous deux doivent se confesser. Leurs vies secrètes doivent être révélées. La question est, qui est le vrai méchant? Numéro 12. Laissez-moi t'expliquer. Let me explain. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the women I bed. Please let me explain the blogs, the lies, the pictures, the texts, the calls, the whys. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the men I bed. Please let me explain the blogs, the lies, the trips, the money, the calls, the whys. When two people both keep secrets, keep lies, have a double life, the collision is destined to happen. For normal people, it may never come. But when you stand before God and make an unholy commitment, the stage is set for the perfect storm. And let no man cheat their God. Never deceive the holiest of all beings, for their thievery will be rewarded within their lifetime. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the women I bed. Please let me explain the blogs, the lies, the pictures, the texts, the calls, the whys. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the men I bed. Please let me explain the blogs, the lies, the trips, the money, the calls, the whys. And the karma continues as the husband gets hurt, his contract not renewed. Free agency and uncertainty is now a reality. Their spending lives are now spinning out of control. Their web of deception has entangled themselves. They don't recognize themselves. They don't recognize how to get out. All they know is how to get in deeper. And let no man or woman take from their marriage, stealing time, stealing money, stealing hearts. For in that moment, the tides overtake the souls. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the women I bed. Please let me confess her name was D. Yes, I smashed. She meant nothing. Please let me explain the life I led, the lies I told, the men I bed. Please let me confess his name was Jack and Rob and Keith and Rod and Mac. I know I was wrong to bed these men, to buy them things, to live in sin. You were always gone, you never called. I was alone, I tried to bawl. From the truth bore an ugliness that those two were not ready to see. The human mind is not equipped to simultaneously deal with forgiveness and deceit. The hole was deeper than they imagined, wider than they could conceive. Speechless, they began to weep. The man played back in his mind all of his boys telling him a wife he did not find. He now feels like a fool. How could he let this nightmare come true? Please let me explain the life they led, the lies they told, the people they bed. He hurt his leg, his money was short, his wife a thief. Sounds like divorce. C'est fini. L'athlète a été congédié de son équipe. Elle a décidé de verser de sa femme. Elle a manqué d'argent et les amis. C'est ainsi que l'histoire s'est terminée et un autre commence. Numéro de la piste 13. Boom. When you play with someone else's money, in the end, you get played. That's street karma. And the streets are undefeated. In this story, a man and woman both tried to deceive each other. In the end, they defeated themselves. Paying more attention to playing games caused them to lose sight of real life. They became masters at spending but failed to understand lifelong earning. The tangled webs cost them dearly. The man did get cut from his team. He tried to make a comeback. Sad, really. His time had passed. He faced 2 paternity cases and became an instant penniless father. The woman lived out her worst fears. While out shopping, her black card was denied, cut up, and she was escorted out the building. When she tried to call her husband, she realized her phone was cut off. The valets told her a constable and wrecker had just repossessed her truck. She walked to another store where one of her friends worked, called up Jack, then Rob, then Keith, then Mac. Surely one of her lovers would give her some stacks. She just needed enough to get her on her way. Yes, you got it. They all turned their backs. Life moved on in an unexpected direction. Pregnancy, but as a result of whose affection? She worked the pole until she was showing too much, then laid low until her baby she touched. Filing for paternity was risky indeed. The super dope kind of love. To be continued. You'll see. The super dope. The super dope is a love story. It's yes sir. It's that